Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about my mini cut and how I lost 4 kilos in 4 weeks. Why I decided to document this process 4 weeks ago was to showcase that everything we preach on this page, we apply to ourselves and that it works. Why I decided to diet this time around was actually for a jiu-jitsu competition. It was nothing to do with the way I looked. I entered into a category that I had to cut weight for, and as I've cut multiple times for physique competitions and photo shoots, I know the do's and donuts, so I knew I could cut weight and that would give me a slight advantage over my competitor. The second reason was I like the focus that comes with a cut. There's micro tasks to complete every day, and when you tick all those boxes at the end of the day, you just feel good. My total weight loss, I went from over 86 kilograms to 81.5 kilograms in 1 month. So that's a total of 4.5 kilos in 1 month, which is that's a lot of weight in a very short period of time. So, how did I do it? To start off, my first call to action was to establish how much food I was eating up until this point before I could go into the cut. So the best way of doing that is to just track a standard week and then get the average of that week. It's a bit more work than simply using a formula like Harris Benedict, but what formulas don't take into consideration is how much food you've been eating up until now. That figure for me was 3,700 calories. From there, I wanted to enter a 30% deficit of that figure. As far as calorie deficits go, 30% is quite aggressive to be starting off with, but as I had 4 weeks, I needed to be aggressive. So 30% of 3,700 was about 2,590. So on MyFitnessPal, I set my calories to 2,500. My protein was between 180 and 200. And I gave myself the option of being plus or minus 100 calories, depending on the day. My next call to action was to then fill out my MyFitnessPal for the next day to make sure I hit my calorie goal and my protein goal. That way, once I met those goals, I knew exactly what I was eating the next day, and I could go to the shop, buy everything I needed to meet those goals for the entire week. Being organized is your best friend during a fat loss phase. The next thing to do was to get my average step count, which was easy because my phone is tracking my steps. My average steps were about 4,000, so I had a lot of room for improvement there. I set my step target to 8,000 on week 1. For week 2, I set it between 8 and 10,000. From weeks 3 to 4, I set my step target between 11 and 12,000. So I had my calories, I had my protein, I had my step goal. Then I woke up the very next morning, took my weight, which was around 86 kilograms. And then from there, I weighed myself every morning, usually at the same time, before I ate or drank and after I used the toilet. I kept my training the exact same during a cut. I know this is a big question a lot of people have. Do you do higher reps and lighter weight when it comes to a cut? No. That's how you lose muscle. The things that got you big and strong are the things that will keep you big and strong. Don't change that. Supplements. I started taking L-carnitine. L-carnitine is a fantastic supplement, and there's research to show that it does in fact help with fat loss. So I did start taking about 1,000 milligrams of that every day. I stopped taking creatine about 2 weeks out because I just wanted to drop some water weight as well. If I was cutting just to look good, I would keep creatine in, but because this was a weight specific cut, I had to be a certain weight on time. I got rid of creatine to drop about a kilo and a half. What really sped my progress up was when I dialed in my weekends. So when it comes to the weekends, I love eating out. I have a girlfriend, we love going for food together. I still did that, but I did a few things to minimize the damage, if you want to call it that, at the weekend by being even more active. It was common for me to hit about 15,000 steps on Saturday and Sunday for a little bit of extra calorie expenditure, and to calorie bank for the evening. So my first 2 meals were smaller meals and they contained mostly protein and fiber. That way I'm getting my protein up, I'm eating fruit and veggies, and I'm not consuming that many calories. So when it came to dinner time, I had a lot of calories to play with. Lastly, this is the last point I want to touch on, is the fact that I lost 4 kgs in the space of a month. That is a lot of weight to lose that fast. How was I able to lose that much weight that fast? Was because I was in a maintenance phase for so long prior to cutting. That is something Keen and I preach in this page all the time. Whether you're bulking or cutting, both of those phases are temporary. You need to be able to know how to get into a maintenance phase and just stay there in order to keep your results. When you're in a maintenance phase and then you go into a cut, fat loss is much more predictable. And that's why I was confident I was going to lose all that weight in that time frame. The whole process was actually fairly easy. I really enjoyed it. The hardest part of the whole thing was actually my mindset before it. I wasn't looking forward to doing it, but once I got stuck in, I had a great routine going. I was eating about 3 square meals a day, protein and fiber at each meal to help keep me full. Some level of hunger is obviously expected, but there were certain things I was doing to curb that hunger, like 0-calorie drinks, drinking a bit more tea. I never drank tea before, now I'm a tea drinker. Even post-diet, I like my tea at nighttime now. And yeah, just keeping yourself busy, just keeping your mind occupied, because like you all know this, when you're not busy at nighttime and you have a bit of free time, that's when you tend to go picking at stuff. As for the comp itself, I won all of my 6 matches, which was unbelievable. I had an absolutely brilliant time and it was such a great experience. I'm definitely gonna do it again at some point. So yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you learned something from this video, and for those who are watching, keeping up with the progress the last 4 weeks. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you soon.